We don't know that yet. But
Probably
anyways,
not.
let's talk about the big game here. Obviously, you got the Eagles and the Chiefs here. Chiefs opening up at -1.5. Total over under is 48.5. And money line is going to Philly right now at plus 105 here. So let's give our predictions, T. It is time for that.
Ooh.
I'll give you some prop bets as well. There are some pretty weird ones in regards to that. So I'm going to pull those up here for you. But let's talk about obviously the teams here. Kansas City, Philly. I will let you go first. Who you got and why?
All right. Well, this is a rematch of the Super Bowl from a few years ago. These teams are pretty. I mean, they played each other once before. Although the biggest difference is that boy Saquon Barkley. That's the biggest difference in this matchup. Obviously, Philly's passing game isn't what it was in that last Super Bowl, which was a close Super Bowl, by the way. I know sometimes the losers get lost in the sauce in Super Bowls, but it wasn't. It was still a game that went down to the very end. So I think we're going to see the same thing. I think this game goes down to the very last possession of the game for these teams, and I think Saquon Barkley is going to have. I think he'll have a good game. My problem with it is going to be this though. I'm sorry, man. If it goes down to the fourth quarter, if it's the last drive, I'm still trusting the Chiefs, man. I mean, it's hard to pick against them in these close game situations. I haven't seen Philly win that big game in that fashion yet. I mean, they've let's be honest. That last game against Washington, that wasn't even worth watching. The game that they played against
Yeah, it wasn't close.
they played against Green Bay, that wasn't even really a game either.
Yeah.
Now let's look on the other side of the ball and let's look at who the Chiefs played. The Chiefs, of course, Houston Texans, they're all right, but they beat them. But they played probably the other best team in the entire league. That was the Bills, and managed to somehow get out of that unscathed. Now, if Philly had went through Detroit and beat Detroit, then maybe I would have thought, you know what? I think Philly's got a chance to beat KC. But KC has been beating good team after good team. They've been winning close game after close game. And
Ref
Philly
after ref.
and
I'm
Philly, yeah, well, I
joking.
mean,
I'm joking.
you're gonna
I'm
they're
joking.
gonna get some calls. But Philly's kind of just Philly
Yep.
Philly kind of won the lottery. They played Green Bay and they played the Rams and then they played Washington.
Washington.
And so, I mean, it's not their fault, but I just haven't seen from Philly that situation where they have to go down and win the game. And we've seen kind of the Kansas City do this time and time and time again. So I think it's going to be a close game. I think KC wins, but KC wins by 3. I think it's going to be all the way. It's going to go down to the wire, and KC wins by 3 points and wins their
All
third Super
right.
Bowl straight.
Well, look, and I'm going to go the complete opposite because no team has won 3 Super Bowls,
That's
and
true. That's
I
very
will
true.
like to see that trend continue. So I'm going to take the Eagles plus 1.5 on this. You mentioned it. The Eagles have been very run heavy with Saquon Barkley, and rightfully so. The man is just been an absolute monster. 2,000-yard rusher, potential MVP candidate. Although I still think Josh Allen probably will be winning the MVP here. But
Yeah.
you mentioned something, the throwing. The Eagles have had no reason to throw the ball with the running backs. And I'm going to include Kenneth Gainwell in this as well because he does complement Saquon Barkley very nicely here. I expect Philly to come out and throw this thing. And
Oh,
the only reason why is because Kansas City's front line, one of the best. So I think what they're going to start off with is a lot of dumps and dinks to Saquon, a little bit of getting AJ Brown in the mix here, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goddard as well. I think they're going to open up the passing game first to let the running game kind of develop itself here. They'll let the Chiefs know that that running game is still there, but I think that towards the end of the game, I expect Philly to run this ball a little more, but I expect them to be a little pass heavy just to kind of change it up a little bit and kind of catch the Chiefs off guard here. Um, so I expect them to win. Now, are they going to? That's going to be a little tough because you are going against Patrick Mahomes, and it's almost getting to the point. It's like when you try to bet against Tom Brady, you're not
yeah,
supposed to do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't do it there.
And it
So I'm
sucks. It sucks, man, because I remember what
yeah.
that was like, and it's terrible. It's like when he went to the Bucks and won. I mean, I want to throw up. Like, really, you know what I mean? Like, really. So it's just you're right. We are getting to the point to where it's kind of a tired story. You're tired of hearing about it, but at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you got to beat these guys somehow, and most teams just haven't been able to do that. I love what Philly's bringing to